So Thomas Muster regains the initiative, though of course on serve, but Courier just seems to have hit a bad patch. I mean, the last couple of games he's hit a lot of poor shots, really.
I don't like what I'm seeing there. I don't know if he's saying that I hurt it when I fell, or I'm maybe getting a little bit of cramp. Certainly I hope he hurt it a little bit when he fell, because you can always get over that.
Yes, of course, it was on this court a few years ago that Andrei Medvedev fell and broke a wrist on his left hand, of course, which he uses for the double-hander. He played out the rest of the match before realizing that he had broken it. But I do think he's calling for assistance.
He has.
Bill Norris. I wonder if he scraped some skin off on that fall. Bill's been around the tour for a long time. Oh, wait a minute. It's looks like it's a blister. Ugh. A series of blisters.
No, I don't think he's got feeling in his fingertips.
Oh, yeah.
Bill Norris is obvious in the States has been thought of as being John Denver, the country and western singer, and of course he loves that. You know, when people come up to him at the airport and say, "Are you John Denver?" Of course he says yes, and he gives them a whole spiel. I mean, what a personality this man's got. But he knows his business.
Yes, all my thoughts about blisters. What a load of rubbish I was talking there. But,
yes. I'll forgive you.
I'll say it before you do. But, it's just testing, obviously, for the feeling. See if anything was broken.
Obviously, what he did when he fell, when he fell, he actually fell twisting his ankle, didn't he? And then he sort of slowly went over, almost went onto the shoulder. I don't know if he sort of landed onto the shoulder or what he did, but I think it looks like he's going to get some stretching done now.
Yeah, now what's going on?
Because the trainer first has to diagnose what the problem is, and then he tells you that tells the umpire that we need an injury timeout here.
Well, of course he's got his, oh, is it the old hip again? By the looks of it, some way he was manipulating that. Rather him than me, I think.
Yes, yes. But, he's very gentle. He's extremely gentle, Bill Norris. I mean, he would never hurt you. Certainly, he would never hurt you with a smile on his face, you know. Well, let's hope it's done the trick.
What a tournament it's been for injuries and retirement. Fascinating. Match is fascinatingly poised. 2-3, third set, Courier serving. These double faults beginning to look a little expensive. 5. Of course, a crucial one in his last service game.
Why?
I don't know.
Couldn't have been a ball that was running, rolling on the court.
No, whether it was some litter or something. Well, you can see there something blowing across the court.
Jamming him on the serve, you don't see that enough in the modern day tennis. You need to do it about 10 or 15% of the time, but it does keep your opponent honest.
So we come to a crucial stage of the match. The second half of the third set at 1-all. Both men striving for the ascendancy. Well, a couple of times now he's caught him with that forehand going back to the forehand.
It's very, very effective, that's for sure. Courier has similar habit as Muster. He's always leaning towards his backhand side, so he's always vulnerable to that shot to the forehand. Before this game began, both players had served 77 balls on their serves, and Muster had gotten 44 first serves in, and Courier 43. So difficult to always catch up to that forehand approach. He gets so much topspin on it, it always goes away from you.
Big serving from Thomas Muster, a fourth ace. 4-3 he leads, and more treatment. Well, I'm bemused as to what the problem is. We've had every sort of part of Muster's anatomy getting attention. We know about the long-standing hip problem. He saw the fall. Well, does seem to be still worried about the racket arm, doesn't he? So maybe when he fell, he jarred a nerve, pinched a nerve.
That's what I'm assuming that he must have done.
One thing's for certain, that if there's one breath left in his body, Thomas Muster would stay on this tennis court. He's used to playing through the pain.
Well, every sports person, we can talk about sports people if we like, or just stick to tennis, but every tennis player that has been playing tennis for a year or two is not injury-free, in my opinion. There's always something wrong with them. It's just the nature of the game and the strain on the body, but they get used to it. They get some treatment, and then they get ice afterwards, and they just play through the pain until eventually it gets too much, and then they have an operation, or they have a bit of a holiday, and then come back again and do it all over again. And it's never easy to be the other player when you see your opponent getting treatment on the court. You know that there's something wrong. You can look and work out yourself what's wrong, but you've got to keep focused and continue to play your own game, not worried about the injury, what might be worrying them. Play conservatively. A lot of things can go wrong with you when you think that your opponent is not healthy.
Well, one or two things certainly going wrong with Jim Courier's game at the moment. Lost the intensity that he had in the second set and the start of the third. 3-4, 15-30. Alarm bells ringing. Again, he was going for that drop shot. And I think it was too early in the rally to do so. And here's a real chance for Muster.
Well, the court was open to go for a good volley deep cross court, or even to go back down the line. Good pressure tennis up by Courier. You break point down, it's such an advantage to get a first serve in. If you can serve an ace, that's great, but if you can't serve the ace, at least get a good, strong first serve in and try to dominate the point. That's exactly what he did there.
So Thomas Muster regains the initiative, though of course on serve, but Courier just seems to have hit a bad patch. I mean, the last couple of games he's hit a lot of poor shots, really. Fiddler's been around the tour for a long time. Oh, wait a minute. It's looks like it's a blister. Ugh. A series of blisters.
No, I don't think you can always get over that.
Yes, of course, it was on this court a few years ago that Andrei Medvedev fell and broke a wrist on his left.
I don't like what I'm seeing there. I don't know if he's saying that I hurt it when I fell, or I'm maybe getting a little bit of cramp. Certainly I hope he hurt it a little bit when he fell.
Left hand, of course, which he uses for the double-hander. He played out the rest of the match before realizing that he had broken it. But I do think he's calling for assistance.
He has.
Bill Norris. I wonder if he scraped some skin off on that fall.